Cool, cool.
All right, you want to get it
Uh,
started? Do team introductions.
Yeah, we can get it going here. So, I am Monkey, head of operations, and helping out the community and everywhere, and find me in other servers and stuff like that. And yeah, pretty much just doing the same old, same old.
Zeph.
yes, same old, and I'm Zeph. I am the community manager for GoldMint. I see we got not the a good crowd today. And a nice few individuals I've noticed before. I am just here to kind of facilitate and act as a liaison to the community, and I hope everyone's doing well.
I'm
Awesome.
Vu. I'm one of the founders. Zeph, obviously, is the community manager, is always thinking about the crowd size and stuff, but it has been a really rough market, both in traditional markets and in DeFi. And there's not a lot of excitement going on right now, but I still like doing these every week because it gives us a chance to share not just with people who are able to make it in real time, but I get a lot of people who message me throughout the week, and say that they were able to listen to it, later or got one of our recordings on YouTube, uh, for the update. So I still like having a good chance to do that. The meet the team, we can always keep short. You guys have gotten to know us pretty well. Um, as for like the quick update, just kind of like what we're working on behind the scenes right now. Um, we're releasing nodes. So I've seen the node contract and the rough UI for the upcoming nodes. Everything's looking pretty good there. We're starting to input the parameters we want and do a little bit of testing. And we've had most of the development team working on that. I've also been starting to work with Zeph to schedule some more AMAs outside of our server. So we're not just reaching out to people who see the announcements here, but we had a really good one in Raiders of DeFi early on. I'd like to do a follow up with them. They're, a really cool group. DGen Dashboard, actually, we're doing one with them tomorrow. They have a node focus, but they're releasing a new website for all sorts of different DeFi projects, and I'm pretty excited for that AMA. That's 1 o'clock Eastern time, I believe. Someone will correct me if I'm wrong. If anyone wants to check that out, we'll be talking about the nodes in even more detail, and I'll touch on them a little bit more
And
tonight. Go ahead, Zeph.
and and for sure, our friend the Smackaroony will be hosting the AMA and delivering her kind of quick wit, and she'll be doing an excellent job, and we can't wait to see what she does.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep, definitely looking forward to doing that with him. We're still on the back end. Monkey will tell you it's not a lot of fun. The listing sites are difficult to work with, but the big ones and small ones, you have to kind of keep them updated, uh, keep the information accurate. Some of them are, especially the big ones are slow to respond. But we're still talking to Coin Market Cap, Coin Gecko, looking at doing DBank. After that, you need to have one of those two out. And one of our partner protocols, Alto, I saw today, just said that they got their coin market cap, their like first official response after like 2 weeks or so of sending the request for them. So I think we're something in that same time frame. So hopefully that'll be coming soon. Merch, we do have some merch now. Our friends at the DeFi merch shop had put a couple hoodies and some gear and some different items out. I think there's some mugs and some different cool things. I think their website's in our announcements. I know one of our team members got their first hoodie from them today, and it seems like some pretty nice stuff, and it's super reasonably priced. So definitely go check out their website. Uh, Another thing we've been working on the development end, and actually we're doing this with the nodes simultaneously, is we just set up a new GitHub. It's currently set to private, but we're using that to kind of have a little bit more coordination and version control with our code, both the front end and the back end, as we're working new UI in and new contracts. So that's been pretty nice. There might be a time where we can even bring that public, but for now, that's been helping us be a little more efficient on the development end. We started off with one developer. We have three now, and at least one formal, maybe two formal development advisors. So we have a lot of people helping us roll this out, and using GitHub is definitely helping. Uh,
Yeah, I'll
Doc
say
and the DAO. Go ahead, Monkey,
it
on
should
that.
be a lot better and smoother now because at first we didn't have as much commitment on that end, but now it's a lot more focused on, so things should be a lot smoother and easier because I know we had lots of issues with the UI and stuff at the beginning, but shouldn't be much of that anymore.
Yes, the UI was an absolute nightmare for me. Monkey
Yeah.
heard me in private conversation, getting some of those first kinks worked out, and there's still different things that we struggle with. Ethereum's a slightly slower network than some of the L2s. So sometimes when things are failing to report, sometimes it does have to do with the network. Um, and we've even upgraded some of the ways that we call the network to refresh our data. And, we're still working on that all the time, but it's nice to have a GitHub to do it and an expanded development team. You guys probably always notice we have a new, developer or mod or person, coming in to help us out. Our team has been growing just at the same time, the token and our community's been growing.
Oh,
Um,
for sure. The people who we affiliate with, more project, everything, a little effort and little progress is made each day.
Hmm.
yep.
Yeah.
Um, that's about it for like the quick update on what we're working on behind the scenes. I mean, I guess I could go on with that forever. It's hard to do quick. Doc and the DAO are working on some cool stuff. They have some plans in mind with the bond tokens. They have plans for the share tokens. He can't be here for this AMA, so I don't want to steal too much of his alpha. But he's always kind of out there looking out for us with the DAO and acting as a support mechanism for the protocol and for the community. Um, if we want to, we can talk a little bit about the overall market, not us specifically, but just the DeFi space or
I
traditional
was just
markets.
gonna touch up on the DAO a little bit and just say,
Go
it,
ahead,
it
yeah.
like soon it's gonna be pretty awesome what we're gonna be able to utilize with it, and be able to implement with just like using the DAO alone in um, very well thought out ways and smart ways. So it should be cool coming up soon. It's a little bit slow at the beginning, but once we have some more opportunity, it should be pretty cool.
Yeah, the DAO's in the acquisition stage. Doc is getting us to acquire tokens, acquiring GoldMint bonds, acquiring GoldMint share tokens, things that he can use to burn, things that he can use to reduce debt, things that he can use in other healthy ways for the protocol. And I guess that's where Monkey's kind of getting at with some
Yeah.
of the cool ideas.
Hmm.
So there will be a lot that the DAO can kind of do that other protocols
Apps.
aren't taking advantage of. A lot of
Exactly.
tune forks and algo stables have DAOs, but they don't properly utilize them.
Hmm.
And that's going to
Um,
be just one of the places we try to be different. Yes, F.
yes, to Wellness asks, um, oh Jesus, Spartan. Wellness asks, in regards to the DAO, what tokens will be used for voting at the end of the 2 years?
I believe it is the share token.
It is
Is
stated
that
in the
correct, Monkey?
docs. Yes, it is stated in the docs.
Yeah.
These share tokens will hold value, but
Yeah, so
That's
the
a great
100%
question.
pass.
yeah, it is a very good question. It's very
I
good to know.
definitely see that value increasing as we approach that 2 year mark in the transition. I've noticed with a lot of the other, I guess we haven't touched on this that much recently, but a big part of the reason people are excited about our DAO is that it's not just obsessed with like holding our tokens, which it can burn, but also acquiring things like PaxG, being willing to and able to support the protocol in different ways and get some other lucrative rewards out there for the participants. Uh, so yeah, I don't want to go too much further into doc stuff, but we'll be doing all of that and more.
Yeah, lots of fun stuff. It'll be rewarding for
Oh, for
everybody and lots of
sure.
the participants, and definitely want to look into the gold mint aspect as well, and like talking about liquidity and stuff like that. But that'll be further down the line. For right now, it's really focusing on the share token and bringing value to it after emissions are over.
Yep.
Absolutely. So I suppose we should, we could talk about Goldman endlessly. We're big gold nuts. We like PAX G. But let's talk a little bit about the market. Something a
Do we
little
have to
more.
censor that?
Oh God, guys. Excellent joke
um,
though.
yeah.
100%. That was excellent.
So you want to touch on that overall market, redefining a dumpster fire, total shit show, just absolutely
Yeah.
uh,
yeah, it's gonna be
terrible.
we got a few people in the audience, so let's just make this more casual. Um, so
It does go out on
guys,
YouTube to be more careful.
Yeah.
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, so the
Well,
overall market's been tough. I can touch on that a little bit. DeFi things that are pegged to L2s. I mean, Ethereum's had a tough last couple weeks as well, but some of the further down the line protocols in coins have done even less well. Algo stables themselves have had trouble with US Terra. The traditional markets, there were traditional markets today that were down like 4% and things like that that really haven't seen that kind of drop in a while. So yeah, there's a lot of blood in the water, as they say, with the markets. But everybody over here seems to be doing okay. We've been slowly growing. There are some peaks, and troughs. It is a token that's now decentralized and traded openly on decentralized exchanges, so you can't completely predict what can happen. But we've been live for about a month now. We came out of Genesis particularly low. We had a ton of people leave that had no interest in the protocol, and that was probably the best thing that ever happened to us. We've been
Definitely.
growing steadily since then. So for anyone who's been watching over the last month, pretty much any of the holdings in our protocol have done pretty well. We'd like to see some movement in the share token soon. I think as we approach PEG, people's interest in holding the share token for prints from the mint are going to be it happens a little bit rapidly. The
Hmm.
share token's speculative, so you see it kind of hit lower lows and hit higher highs. And Doc and the Dow are going to do some things to help us out with that too.
And yeah,
um,
with like quickly touching on that, like we've only been up for a month. I think we've proved ourselves pretty well to be not some ruggers or malicious people or anything like that, and we've had a good health and protocol. I mean, obviously our share token being volatile, but our peg token is on a forward path up and hasn't had like it hasn't gone as low since after Genesis, after we had a couple bad actors that are luckily no
it's
longer
been
here.
staying within the 250 to like 1,000 range, I would
Hmm.
say. It's mostly staying within that 200 to 600
Well,
range.
we did have one spike up, but that honestly helped because
Sure.
that got rid of a lot of the other paper hands, I guess we'll say. So like it's
leftover paper hands.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
But
it's
it's
The
not.
people who are just biding their time,
yeah.
they just left
the,
and it's
the
like, okay,
point
good riddance.
is that I'm trying to touch on is that it's in over a long term trend, looking at it over the month, we've been generally heading in the right direction. And,
Hmm.
and I don't want our people to get obsessed with the day to day price. I actually want to talk a little bit about what I think went wrong, and I hate uh, speculating too much, but about UST and how
Well,
that
I was
default
actually
went
about to,
down.
yeah, I was about to ask a question actually to you about that. Do you mind if I ask? Go away.
Yeah, fire it off.
So what I want to, people might be considering, some of the compared, U.S. Terra is a algo stable. Compared to GoldMint, how do we differ, and how will we, I suppose, come out ahead where U.S. Terra failed, and how will GoldMint succeed? You
Awesome.
know,
That's a great
I-
question because we really got to explain the difference between
because
the
people, whenever I
promise of.
described it to a random person, not random person, a lay person, they would not like, isn't kind of GoldMint like Terra? So how could we kind of explain that, Vu?
Well, I guess the easiest way to touch on it is there's different types of algo stables. Um, and with US Terra, and again, this is just my opinion, I can't be certain I'm correct, but part of the reason I think that went wrong is they maybe failed to make it clear what an algo stable is. it turns out that it was always true that Terra could have traded for more or less than 1.00 US dollar tether, or, whatever metric you want to use, to measure it. But that was never embraced or accepted, you know. And once that system looked like it was going to fail, and everyone had been so convinced that it was always going to be 1.00, there's that fear, and then that bank run that kicks in. So I think a big part of the problem there was, if the sales pitch to that community had been, hey, you're going to have to handle sometimes being a little bit under peg, and then sometimes you're going to get the reward of being able to sell when you're a little bit over peg. I think we can see a situation how once you hit 99, you know, 0.5% of, your goal, or what worked down to, 0.95 and things like that, that there might not have been such a freak out. You can see how even here we're talking about the fact that we're not at peg, but we're heading in the right direction, and we're happy about that. So if you can embrace the algorithm part of an algorithmic stable coin. People tend to look at just the stable, but if you look at these over a long enough roadmap, a long enough amount of time, the systems work to get it where it needs to be, and it doesn't have to be there all the time. And I think the premise that UST had to be at 1.00 all the time is what led to its downfall, because then once it wasn't, all hell broke loose.
Because
And they thought having $3 billion to back it up was enough. It sounds like a lot of money, but it was an arbitrary sum.
yes, people expected it to remain one. It changed slightly, and then that kind of all hell broke loose.
There's
Yeah, it's
there,
it's
there's
deep.
also the factor, like it kind of exactly what you were saying with how um, sorry, I'm having a stroke a little bit. It's with what he was promising, like, and well, what they were promising and everything, but how they went about it, and how they, I guess I'll just say, like, how Duquan on different stations and stuff like that pretty much led to saying how he was just building up all the Bitcoin reserves to have control over the overall market, and say, like, he wanted control. He didn't want people to destroy Terra, because then he would be able to say, oh well, here it goes Bitcoin, the king. So, but it didn't really work out for him in the end. So
Yep. So moving on from that.
Yeah. So we talked about the major things that happened. U.S. Terra and Luna, an unfortunate situation, and the overall state of the market. Why don't we invite some people up to talk, if you're okay with that? Unless you wanted to cover another point.
I might take a minute to talk. I mean, I did the quick update. We talked about the space in general, and I think we look strong compared to the overall market. Might want to touch a little bit more on nodes. I know a lot of the people are interested in that. Like I said, we'll be having kind of a more detailed AMA tomorrow. But most of us have put together, we definitely took our inspiration from other tomb forks who implemented nodes. And I've kind of been thinking about this, more, that there's different types of, I mean, they're all technically synthetic nodes, but there's different types of synthetic nodes and node protocols. And implementing them on top of a tomb fork is different than the ones that are primarily set up as nodes. There is a difference, and we definitely looked at Great Finance, EMP, some of the other ones who were doing that. There's a little bit of inspiration there, but I can see how people from this space, and a lot of the folks here from the algo stable tomb fork space, are going to see nodes as similar to or see nodes as Great calls them. They're nodes. And then we can also start to see how the people who participate in node protocols are probably going to compare it a little bit more to a lock staking. So I want to be sure we're delivering the message to both audiences, because it really is a little bit of both. When I think of a node, I think of turning in your tokens now for an incentivized reward over some duration of time. that's better than what you started with. And when I think of lock staking, you are you are actually still holding all of your original tokens. Um, Maybe getting a lock stake token back or some sort of X token that can be redeemed for more over time, but you aren't losing that. So it'll be kind of a combination of the two. You'll see the rewards really similar to like a 3 month long lock staking program if you're familiar with doing lock staking. And if you're familiar with nodes and the terminology that some of the other tomb forks use, you'll see some similarities there. Ours are going to be a wee little bit different. We did talk about the fact that we'll accept GoldMint and then also GoldMint bonds, BGLDM, for the nodes. We want to make sure that we're thinking about our bondholders. We definitely appreciate their participation. And since we're on a slow and steady path to peg, there will probably be some different opportunities for the bondholders, just like the share pool right now, um, to make that a little bit better of a position to be in, to make sure that even if you can't wait until 1.1 peg to redeem your bond, there's going to be some other cool things you can do with that bond token and participating in the node sale, getting the automatic whitelist for the nodes, the initial discount for the nodes, or just a part of that. But when I say we're going to take care of our bondholders, I don't just mean in the future. I also mean right now.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. Because we want to be able, like, one of the big issues with bonds is people find themselves stuck with, especially when you're really below peg and it's taking a long time to get up. There's lots of people who start to get like antsy because it's DeFi and it's taking too long, and you've got to be quick. So offering the nodes is a way that you can kind of start getting more rewards off of your gold mint instead of, I guess, waiting until we get back up to peg. But yeah, it's always just also another opportunity and utility in the ecosystem.
Yep, for sure. Another interesting thing about the nodes is we have the DAO who's committed. So part of the reason I've been bouncing these rates around is as we've had discussions and looking for, what we could settle in as sustainable. There's no such thing as a guarantee in DeFi. But what I meant as sustainable when I talked to my team, behind the scenes was, okay, can we physically put more tokens into this pool to keep paying out XYZ rate? Uh, for this initial round of nodes? Can we ensure that they're stable even past just mechanisms in place or things like that? And obviously, you need a healthy ecosystem for the bonds to be uh, redeemed and then the gold mint to come in and be paid back out. But we do believe that if we shoot for a rate of around 0.4% per epoch, it comes out to around 1.6 per day, that that's going to be pretty sustainable in terms of ROIs. And we're highly confident that a 3 month node at 0.4% per epoch every 6 hours is going to be able to be released pretty soon here. And you guys will be able to participate in those. And we're going to do what we can to make them really appealing. They're going to have competitive rates on the market, and we're going to use our DAO to help ensure that we can maintain that competitive rate where some of the other ones are offering it and letting it slip. So we don't want to set the goal too high where we can't sustain it. And I think we're finding a happy medium there that's going to make our nodes really appealing for the people who got in on the whitelist, because they're going to feel really confident that they're going to get a good ROI in a fairly short amount of time compared to some of the other ones.
Yeah.
And
So
that's even in a less than optimal market, by having our DAO to supplement.
and with that, there's a question that Spartan Rojo had. Will nodes have a finite lifespan? And yes, they will. We're
Yes.
estimating for quarterly,
Yeah,
right?
I wanted to use exactly quarterly every 3 months for at least for the duration of this first round of nodes being released. I can't say it'll always be that exact expiration. It may be based on APR that work or ROI really, in terms of tokens. Uh,
So
that lasts about
yeah.
3 months, but yes, you can expect them to expire in about 3 months.
Hmm.
Um,
And
and we
then
can actually leave it open to questions there.
Yeah, Graz was just asking
First.
about if there is an ROI set for the nodes currently, and I think we're pretty much basing it off of 1.6% daily to three
Yeah, zero
months.
point 0.4 per epoch is the uh, goal or established ROI for the
Hmm.
nodes that we're hoping to sustain.
So yeah, we don't have the exact math right now. We had it earlier, but
Zero, did I say 0.4?
yeah, yeah,
So 1.6 per day?
1.6 per day over 3 months. That would be the finite ROI.
Yep.
Yes, let's see who wants to speak now. If you're all okay with that.
Um, we also do have another question from Graz, which is how about releasing nodes for S Goldman, and when we hit peg, nodes for GoldMint.
Um, we do like the idea of eventually doing nodes for S Goldman. Uh, One cool thing about nodes is it helps us acquire tokens that we want to temporarily, get off of the market in exchange for rewards later. I think the DAO is planning on doing like a burn with some of the share tokens to help stabilize the price there and reduce the supply. I think we have a couple different things lined up with the share token. Um, and I'll bet you those will play out, and then we'll probably see those share token nodes maybe in the next set. So starting to look out, not quite 3 months, but whatever we're talking about, say 2 months from now, you might be expecting to see uh, share token nodes.
Yeah. Another good one, Wellness, is asking is have we thought about introducing auto compounder via curve that could be used to buy back GoldMint, incorporating, yeah, okay. Definitely
Um,
something that is thought about. It's not something we can release right away. Curve obviously is like I think the
well,
biggest DeFi protocol, so that one would be pretty hard to work with them, especially at the stage that we're at. But I've definitely thought about it,
um,
and there's um, different
yeah.
ways. Like we could, like I've thought about even just down the line, like creating our own. Essentially, we could just make our own auto compounder for ourselves, and have it work the way that we want. But that obviously,
Yeah, there's a couple
yeah,
different thoughts
yeah,
along those lines.
Um,
Other people, go ahead, Zeph.
First, yeah, yeah. There's a lot of things being discussed as far as kind of auto compounders. I was One discussion was had between me and Doc. We don't want to kind of give it away, but many discussions are being had, and options are being discussed. Um, yes. Um, yeah. So one of the interesting things about so Boo, I wanted to ask you as well. If no one else wants to come up, um, what are people are asking me in kind of the background about partnerships. Are we allowed to are we anything in your eyes that you may want to look into or kind of out and kind of reach out to?
I mean, we have some great partners right now, and I'm always talking to people behind the scenes. So I have to be very careful. Um, but right now, we're working with Great Finance, Alto Protocol, and Moonvault um, in a couple different ways. Those are three great protocols, all kind of in this space. But then there's more than one reason we picked Ethereum. I think there's a lot of cool stuff on the Ethereum network. There's people doing really cool stuff with bonds on Ethereum. There's, people who are doing really cool integrations. And we're trying to work with them on the back end. I mean, even to the point of, definitely having some first person discussions. Some of the bigger partnerships, I'll tell you if you want proof that I'm having the conversations, will also come with terms like you have to have your token, at least 2 weeks out from your initial token generating event or reach some sort of value or total value locked or something like that. Because these people maybe get partnership requests from, say, thousands of different projects. And we're even meeting and exceeding some of those qualifications and keeping those conversations moving forward. So
hmm
I would
Af-
definitely keep your eyes out for some more on that front.
yeah.
Uh, They're not
The
all going to be
partners,
team sports.
yeah, the partnerships we're getting. Not everyone's just a seniorage protocol. Some interesting things in the work. Vu mentioned Moonvault and Alto, and a few other ones that are being behind the scenes, kind of being hashed out. It's going to be an exciting time, guys.
Yeah, definitely. There's
Um,
like a lot of things that we like are planning on and working on constantly and trying to like reach out more, figure out new partnerships exactly and
oh,
new outreach.
yeah. So DeFi Donnie
Mhm.
asked, what happens after the quarterly time period for the nodes? Are they burnt?
Uh,
After this, why
yeah.
don't we invite some people up?
Yeah, so essentially yes, like they have an expiration date so they just stop rewarding. I am not 100% sure. I'll have to talk to the devs about this and figure out exactly what happens to them cuz I don't 100% know, but I do
So
believe
yeah,
it.
you would see them stuck. It well, not stuck. That's a dangerous word. You would see them still in the node pool, ready. You could claim them whenever you wanted to, if you had let them sit there past the 3 months. But what we're going to do is highly encourage people to compound and move into the next round of nodes. You're not going to see one of these rounds of nodes expire before we let you know what else is coming up. Just like I talked about, with possibly having some things with the shares, a couple months down. So I'm not sure that it's always going to be quarterly, but you can start to kind of feel this vibe that just before, the start, the end of every 3 month rollout, you're going to hear about the next set of nodes that are coming out, what sort of rewards there are for switching in for, compounding, what sort of discounts you got in the first round can maybe be carried over into the second round and stuff like that. We're going to look at some different ways to reward the people who decide to compound, but those nodes would need to be eventually claimed. Once the 3 months is up, they would simply sit there and stop generating rewards and wait for you to be ready to go ahead and claim your rewards. So your tokens will still be safe, but they will not be generating after 3 months.
Yes, that is a good question. I don't think like they won't you'll be able to claim your rewards. They won't ever just like disappear if you're too late on them or anything like that. Um,
Yeah, I
no,
wasn't sure. I didn't read the question, but I just wanted to make sure we were being clear there. Yeah, they'll always
for
be
sure.
claimable, but after 3 months, they will not continue to get you any more GoldMint.
And there will
Um,
be incentives for compounding and such. So yeah.
Yes. So let's see. Um, anyone? Let's see who we got. Does anyone want to come up and, one more AMA discussion question? Uh, anyone want to come up? Oh, Cripsom wants to join. Let's get him up here. Hey, buddy, how are you?
Hey guys,
Hey, hey.
How?
you there? Can you hear me?
Mhm.
Yeah, we can. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm
I
good.
see that suggestion too, Donnie. What's happening, Cripson?
Hey man, how you doing, Vu?
Doing well, doing well. What you got?
Oh well, I don't know. I kind of missed the whole Luna Terra Luna thing. Didn't really get to hear a lot of that. I'm really excited about this node stuff. I'm really bullish on Grape as well. So obviously, I have quite a bit of funds in their nodes there, and they seem to be a pretty damn good um, part of their project. I really like them. They seem to work really well. Um, is that
Yeah,
kind of the same idea you guys are going with?
yeah. I don't know if that's being too direct, but it's happening now. I can tell you that's specifically the contract style we started with. We looked
Yeah.
right at great nodes. I like them a lot too. So yes, it is going to be very, very familiar. If you're familiar with the way Grape did their nodes, like I said, we do have a few differences, but you are going to find a contract that operates in the same way and is hopefully well thought out in the same way. It's hard to do what they do, but we have something pretty dang similar. That was the thing we looked at most when designing ours.
Okay. Yeah. Because actually, part of the reason I got into nodes was, I mean, I think Zeph knows this and Monkey knows, but one of my best friends is Guapo, And
Okay.
so
Yeah, I was just
we,
bullshitting with him today. He's a great guy.
yeah. He told me that he had a phone conversation with you. He's a good person. He's a great person. He's really smart. That's for sure. Um, but yeah, that's kind of where I first got introduced to the nodes. And man, it seems to be, it just really, I'm really excited for GoldMint. I can't wait, man. I'm super stoked. Can't wait to get in and get on that. Provide some capital. It'll be here real soon. So I've been talking to Monkey a little bit about it, and I'm excited. So what was I gonna say? Sorry, I'm like trying to navigate traffic and be on this chat. So
That's all
I'm
good.
so bad at that.
Yep.
I can't do it. I like have to have somebody.
oh man, and I'm driving I'm towing like a 28-foot trailer. So
Jeez.
Stay,
Oh my god.
stay safe, my man.
For
Say,
sure, for
yeah,
make
sure.
sure you know. Zeph's going to say something stupid, make you laugh, and that. Just stay safe, my dude.
yeah.
Uh,
There goes my
We'll
GoldMint
definitely stay safe
investment. Dad.
and definitely feel reassured that we love what Grape does with the development. I have a ton of respect for LB. I watch what those guys do so closely. And
Well,
we'll
man, it's
definitely
such a
try to
good team. Like along with GoldMint, in my opinion, like they're Grape and GoldMint are
thanks.
two of the most bullish teams I'm in, because I'll tell you one thing that I've noticed with Grape is they have a really good job of sustaining peg.
Yep.
They've got a very interesting. Gosh, if only everybody would get on the same page. If only everybody would not hurt the protocol. Everything would be great. But obviously, we're going to battle that forever. So I'm really excited to see once Goldman gets to peg, and we see, it seems like we have a pretty good team. Well, from what I've seen, you guys are all awesome. Have some really good ideas, some good connections, good partnerships, and I just can't wait to get to peg just to see how well it does. I
Us
think it's
too.
going to be great, man.
Thank you.
That makes quite a
Thanks.
handful of us. And it's
Yeah.
the community too, because we could have a community. I see some of these protocols when they're not quite at peg yet, people lose patience and they decide to sell. And I haven't
Yeah,
seen like one iota of that from these guys. So it's just so cool that although we set a ridiculously ambitious mission and a peg price like 1,000 times higher than or 5,000 times higher than most other protocols,
Yep.
it's awesome. We appreciate the love and respect, but we, appreciate you guys so much as well for being with us on this crazy mission.
Yeah.
And we're definitely looking forward to sharing those print rewards together
and
whenever
we will definitely
we
try
get
to
paid.
meet those expectations set by our wonderful community members.
For sure.
yeah.
Yeah. So,
I mean, you guys can only do
anyone.
so much, right? I mean, we rely on a lot of the community as well to make good decisions. So,
Yeah, that's
I
a big
mean,
aspect in all of it, and that's why I think we have such a good strong go at everything because of the community and because of the people that aren't just coming in and like, oh, this is taking forever and selling. It's like there's people that have lots of belief and can see that. It's like you, and so it gives us more motivation and everything too. It's awesome to see.
that's awesome, man. Yeah, I'm super stoked. I think that, I mean, yeah, just be patient, right? I mean, nothing comes if it's a get rich quick scheme, and that's what all you're looking for. You might as well just go ahead and leave if that's what you're looking for, because not only are you
Yeah,
going to
this was a
hurt.
bad find. It's going to take
Yeah,
time. We'll try to get
yeah, you might
everybody
as well
there.
just leave.
Slow
Yeah,
and steady
but I
over
mean,
here.
the thing that drives me nuts is that I see that hurts the most is people just selling, basically selling the not the share token, but like the emissions, just camping and selling, and how much that hurts. And it'd be nice if everybody would quit doing that. Get into something for the long run, not the short term.
That's one thing we're really
Yeah.
obviously trying to promote with the whole DAO and like the end goal and how you'll still be able to earn a yield, and probably a safer yield depending on how well the
Pathetic
DAO
gold
does.
back to go
Yeah.
hang out with us for 2+
Yeah.
years. That is going to be cool as hell.
It's
Getting
something
that.
that people aren't really truly seeing too. Something we got to promote more and really get out there that this isn't just emissions. It's what's coming after that. That's really cool as well.
And
It is a
it's
good
just,
point. I'm focused on the now, maybe not talk. I haven't done as much talk. We used
The
to talk
future,
so
yeah.
much about what the DAO was going to be able to do and how we could set up the emissions to be sustainable and to have that dividend style token where the DAO is still acquiring more PAX G every single day. But the people who are participating in the farms are now getting a token. I mean, we all know that there's a APR in junk issue with DeFi a little bit. That's one of the super cool things about Alto protocol is they can get you reward tokens, in stables. So there's something really to be appreciated about decent yield and decent APR that's in a decent token. So getting to that kind of synthetic gold backed emissions, I think would be awesome.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like it's easy to lose track of with everything that's going on in the now and what we're working on, but yeah, it's definitely all still the
It really
long-term
is.
goal.
It really is a good idea just sometimes to, when you get caught up in all the current events, our current price, it's good to just kind of take a step back, look at the big picture,
Mhm.
and if you see how things have played out, it's actually pretty bullish, honestly.
Mhm. This is a long time to just sit
And
and
until
relax.
then, we're going to sip on bottles of, grapes wine, basically, and we're going to drink
Yeah,
some rosé. We're going to sip some rosé, basically, guys. For the
exactly.
next 2 years,
Yeah,
what is it,
I
like
think part of it
year and
too,
11
like
months?
people don't. Oh, sorry.
No, keep going.
I
Oh no,
think
you're good.
part of it is like people get so they start to get I don't know. I see it in some tomb forks where people get scared of what happens when emissions are over, or what's the protocol going to do after the year or 2 years or whatever. Um, because there's like a FUD in that a little bit, you
Yeah,
know,
definitely.
We're
and so
trying to
people
Yeah,
get there.
don't quite
I'm
understand it.
excited.
Yeah,
we
right.
want
And
to
then
solve
on
the
the opposite
problem.
end, there's like other people that are like, okay, what are we gonna do?
Yep.
Everybody's leaving. It's like,
Uh-huh.
well, look, you guys offer something a lot different. It relies on decisions from the DAO in the future, and it'll be a good thing. I think that's awesome, man.
Yeah. Well, like a big difference is the peg and our set of emissions. I think we're the only one to go over 1 year. There's ones that have
Mhm.
gone under a year and they've been set for I think like
Yeah.
1 month. And obviously, like, if you have knowledge of seniorage, you know that that's not that's a pump and dump scheme. Like
Right.
that's not a long-term goal right there. And they never had any plans for after emissions. It was just, yeah, they're gonna be valuable because that's gonna be it, But that's all that
Mm-hmm.
there is. They don't actually bring anything. So
Yep.
Hmm. Guys.
very
Hey,
cool.
were there any more outstanding questions? Do some rewards, prizes, or something?
That's
Um,
up to
Um.
you.
Well,
cool.
I don't
Okay,
know.
let's do this. Who was
Oh,
first?
Steve.
Spartan Rojo? Was
I
he first in?
think
Yeah.
so.
He
He's been
was the
here since
first
the
person
beginning.
to talk
Spartan
today,
Rojo
and
for being first, being second, getting in here. You have won a whitelist spot and zero point 0.8 gold or bond gold mint to participate in the node program if you so desire. Congratulations, Spartan Rojo. And
he says hell
YouTubers,
yeah.
or people listening and watching on YouTube, we'll do comments, slightly positive or at least reasonable comments within 72 hours of whenever this video gets uploaded. We'll use a random number generator based on how many comments. We're going to pick one person who made a cool comment or something on our YouTube post of this AMA, and we are going to get you the same prize. So looking forward to hearing what you guys have to say in the comment section on YouTube. I'll be keeping my eyes on that too.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Um,
it'll be up in probably an hour to 2 hours after this. So it should be up pretty quickly.
um, you can get in our
I
Discord
see what
server or send us a message privately if you see it on YouTube to get your information if you're a winner. You got another question out there, Zeph?
I actually see in our audience. My friend Steve, who is a mod for Grape, and also a guest now. Protocol leadership for one of Wayfinder Finance. Steve,
Yeah,
you want to come up? You want to come up and say hi?
there he
Come
He
is.
on
says
up.
yes. I want.
Come on
Okay.
up, Steve. You get
Yep.
him up.
Hey Steve, how are you, my friend?
Great. How you guys doing?
Good,
Good,
good.
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 Yeah, good.
Yeah. I don't really know what to say really. I just wanted to pop in, see what you guys were saying, stuff like that. What you guys were doing.
Well, my man, since you're here, use the platform for your benefit. We like you. You're a nice guy. You know, how's everything going with Grape?
Everything's going really well. Honestly, we've been standing pretty strong. The community's been great. I really couldn't ask for more. Um, they've just been fantastic. LB's been great too.
Gotta love your Grape buddies. You got Guapo, Cripsom, LB, Gamer Kid Eric, Yondar, all
Ross
these
spends a
great
little
guys.
time there.
Hold on. You can't
Bob's.
forget Graz too.
Yeah, and
Oh,
Can't
Graz.
forget Graz.
I'm
Dude,
the
there's
You
like
gotta
worst.
have
I'm
the
the worst.
shout out for
it's
Graz,
like
man.
4
I
people,
gotta,
Graz is
5
you know.
people.
he's our mod, and he's one of the best Grapies out there, guys. You know.
Graz
That's
is
true.
helpful.
That's true. I like Great Bees too. Great Bees is pretty good. But yeah,
We
we've been standing pretty strong. Just really wanted to come and see what you guys were doing. I see you guys were uh starting to do nodes and stuff like that, so I wanted to come in read a little bit more about it because I had some downtime at work a little bit, and I saw you guys were doing the AMA, so I just figured I'd pop in and have Steve say
Nice.
what's up.
Yeah, you missed. We just said that we took probably our primary inspiration for nodes from Grape. Doing things a wee little bit differently. Ours are going to be closer to quarterly, like 3 month expiration instead of shooting for an exact goal ROI. We're doing a whitelist only and a little bit of exclusivity with the first round for a couple reasons. I won't get like into some of it again, but hop on YouTube. You can catch this, and we just said we're doing a little promotion on YouTube too for people who do a comment or something. So
Yeah. They're
you might be
also,
able to have a chance to still win something, even though you got in
yeah.
a little bit late. But yeah, we take a lot of inspiration from Grape's Node program. So I think
oh
you'll find something that's familiar and comfortable to people who are used to participating over there. I
Well,
think we're giving out some whitelist spots to different Grape
yeah.
participants off the top
That's
for those guys. But there's going to be some rewards coming out in Grape server as well. Some whitelist spots or something because we want
yeah,
to make sure to pick
exactly what
that
I
out.
was going to touch up on a little bit there. You guys should see something over in the Grape server relating to GoldMint a little bit with some whitelist spots.
Also, too.
Yeah, yeah.
oh yeah,
So keep
for
an eye
sure.
out for that.
Maybe, huh? Yeah, for Grape, Alto.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if you run
maybe
out of
for
chances to win a whitelist spot here with our friends, or if you can't cough up the investment, stop over to some of our partner protocols.
And
They'll be
for
also,
sure.
probably
DGen
giveaways.
Dashboard is giving away a few over there, and those ones are pretty
Oh,
easy to win.
yeah,
So
they announced that this morning.
Oh, fair's gotta be fair, guys. Gotta get some to Moonball as well,
yeah,
don't
yeah,
we?
yeah.
Heck
We
yeah.
have to give some to
All right.
everybody. And
So
anyway,
now everyone
Everybody's
knows
gonna
where to
get
go to
whitelisted at this
scoop up
point.
some whitelist.
uh,
Um, cool. Any other
uh,
big questions or anything? Anybody got anything else?
um, I think as far as Goldman is concerned, I think everyone's good. Um,
yeah, we've gotten. It's pretty far now. We're getting pretty close.
so
Yep. I'm gonna call it then. Yeah, let's call that a wrap. I appreciate everybody's time. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. Thank you if you're hearing us on YouTube. We'll see you guys next week, and if not before, we got a couple other AMAs coming up in some of our friends' servers. So keep your eyes out. We'll definitely be around.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone.
Yep.
absolutely.
Thanks,
Right on.
guys.